I could have been remembered as the handicapped and wounded soldier who on his last mission lost his two hands. Indeed, these are the facts. I lost my hands, but I chose to tell my life story differently. Who I am today and what I have achieved is mainly due to what happened on Tuesday, the 23rd of October 2012. It was the last day of my duty as a company commander at the Givati Brigade. These were tense times in Israel's southern frontier. I was supposed to complete one final mission before taking 2 weeks vacation and getting a promotion to a senior position. Our mission that day was to confirm that there were no terrorist or explosive devices near the border. At 6 a.m., nearly at the end of that mission, I arrived to the security fence in order to open it and allow the last Israeli tank forces to return to Israeli territory after we finished with the activity. Because of the heavy fog and the fact that there were enemy snipers who were likely waiting for us, I was concerned for my soldiers' safety and lives. Therefore, I decided, as a commander, to lead the mission by myself. I ordered my soldiers, stay 250 yards behind me in safe shelters and walk towards that gate, crouching and crawling as I made my way. When I arrived there, for some reason, I don't really know to explain why, my hands were literally shaking. I opened the lock of that gate slowly, pushed the gate, and moved about 3 steps further, and then boom! I felt an enormous explosion that pushed me back. It felt like my entire body was on fire. A few seconds later, I opened my eyes and the pain filled my body. I immediately noticed that my left hand was missing. There was blood everywhere, and I remember myself trying to reach and apply pressure on the wound, but nothing happened. I tried again, and still nothing moved. When I looked on my right hand, I realized exactly why. It was almost disconnected, lying on the flaming hot soil, hanging on small pieces of skin and flesh. Both my arms weren't attached to my body. In the first few seconds, I tried to conquer my shock, not letting it take over me. "Wake up, this is real," I yelled. "Wake up, you have to do something," I told to myself, yelling once again. I knew that if I wouldn't respond immediately, I will lose a lot of blood and eventually die. Since the explosion pulled me deeper into Gaza, my main concern on that moment was to be kidnapped. I knew it would be the worst thing that could happen to me as a soldier and to Israel as a state. I understood that within minutes, those terrorists can be on their way to come and get me, and I don't have my hands anymore. I can't use my rifle to protect myself when they do. I can't even use the radio to report my crew. With the last of my powers, I pressed my left hand into the sand so it will stop bleeding. Took with me my rifle belt from the ground and started to collect whatever that was left from my right hand. Stood up using my knees and start running with all my gear back to my soldiers, back to my crew. Step by step, as the blood poured out on my body, I ran. The only thing I heard was the leaves crashing under my boots. After I ran 250 yards from the Gaza border, I finally approached my vehicle. My soldiers were in shock upon seeing my injuries. My medic, a 19-year-old boy, just 19-year-old boy, had never seen someone so badly injured before. I looked at him and said, "Nir, my brother, you have 2 seconds to put tourniquets on my hands or I will bleed to death." He treated me, gave me first aid as our driver drove out from the battlefield. When we arrived to the helicopter landing ground, my deputy, Eli, was the first one to get there. He looked on my burned body, totally shocked, trying to understand if I'm still breathing or still alive. I looked at him, and the first thing I asked him was, "Eli, look at my face and tell me the truth. Am I still pretty?" He looked at me, smiled, and said, "Ziv, don't worry, you're still the prettiest soldier in the Middle East." From there, I was evacuated to the hospital in critical condition. After we arrived to the trauma unit, a soldier from the IDF Medical Corps approached me. She told me, "Ziv, we need you to call your family and let them know that you are injured. We believe they will respond better if they hear your voice." It made sense to me. I gave her my older sister's phone number, and she made a call. While the phone is ringing, I thought to myself, until now, despite everything, I was very calm and focused. Now, when I need to tell my family, I have to be even more relaxed and cool. My sister answered the phone. I took a deep breath, and in the most relaxed, coolest way, I told her, "Ila, come immediately to the hospital. I lost both of my hands." Coming, you know? At the hospital, I was giving 56 blood units. 56 blood units. It's equivalent to 3.2 gallons of blood, 8 liters of blood. I almost replaced my blood circulation twice. For 4 days, I was unconscious. In the first 2 weeks, I went through 8 surgeries, hanging between life and death. And when I finally stabilized, I came to the realization that my life was forever changed. Now, when the threat of death was removed, the real battle for my life had just begun. During the first few months, pain and bad news were just a part of the many challenges treating to break the spirit of a wounded combat soldier. Family and friends all supported me, but at the same time, I felt like I was a heavy burden on them. Until then, I had a huge responsibility. I commanded over 130 soldiers. I was a young officer with his entire career ahead of him. And now look at me, I thought. I needed my brothers to help me change pants and take showers. I needed my mother to feed me. I thought that everything was lost and that I would be dependent on others forever. I felt anger, disappointment, and also fear. I felt unworthy for my girlfriend. In one of our conversations, I told her, "Adi, pack your things and go. I don't have anything to offer you anymore. I'm just a piece of meat now. I can't even eat by myself. Go and live the life that you deserve to live with a strong man, like I used to be, not with a handicap." I was at the lowest point in my life and lost hope. I thought to myself, "God, why at the age of 24 I must live with no hands? Why I deserve to suffer? How should I conquer my pain and rise again?" I needed a strong reason.
הוא לא רוצה שאני אראה אותו מתייסר. מאוד חשוב לו לראות לעיניי כגיבור תמיד. אני מבינה אותו. הייתי יותר שלווה, יותר עסוקה בעצמי במחלה הקשה שלי. המחלה התפרצה לי מאוד חזק. ואני מקווה שאני אנצח בשביל הילד שלי, לראות אותו מחלים. אני לא רוצה למות בלי לראות אותו מחלים. הוא אכל?
All throughout my life, my mother was my role model when it comes to facing challenges. I felt She was fighting with superhuman powers just to see me stand up on my feet again. I wanted to prove to my mother that I could return to be the person that I used to be, to show her that a strong spirit can take any kind of challenge. Unfortunately, my mother passed away after 8 years of courageous battle with cancer. Even though she isn't here physically, I wanted to prove to my mother that I could return to be the person that I used to be and fulfill her last wish. This is what my injury has taught me. At your worst moment, at your lowest point, you need to find the driving force, the reason that will make you stand up on your feet and not give up. So I found it, and I didn't give up, and I progressed, step after step towards building my new life. Slowly, I learned to eat, to dress, to walk, to take showers straight from the beginning, and it wasn't simple as before, but I found creative solutions for every challenge. I learned how to drive without arms, how to cook, how to write. I even found a way to play Xbox with my own legs and winning. After 1 year, I began studying for my degree, majoring in law, which I just graduated, by the way. Thank you. After 2 years, I got married, believe it or not, to the same woman I asked to leave me. And until today, she is the rock of my life. As you understood, I almost thank you. As you understand, I almost got my life back. Try to live as a normal person as much as I can. I could stop there, let my disabilities manage my life, manage my daily. Nobody even expect more. You know, a handicapped person. But something was still missing. And it wasn't only my hands. I wanted to face my deepest fear, the only thing I avoided from since my life turned, the physical aspect. I wanted to prove to myself that even with my disabilities, I could do what people with no disabilities don't even dream of doing. From a point in my life that I couldn't even walk 2 steps, I completed 3 marathons. And today, I challenge myself to the greatest physical condition of my life. I'm training to the hardest competition in the world, Ironman. And yes, I learned how to swim and how to bike with no hands. In the past 2 years, I founded an academic program from wounded soldiers like me, foster young leadership, mentoring youth at risk, and even start a social startup. Mostly, I began sharing my story with people all around the world, using any opportunity to convey my message, to help others, to inspire them. You probably ask, why was this so important to me? To be honest, I was selfish. You see, a message that resonates with me comes from one of the people that influenced me the most, Felix Zandman, a Holocaust survivor, a genius physicist, and one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the last century. He said, they can take everything from you. They can take your money, your car, your real estate, even part of your soul. There is only one thing that no one can take from you: what you gave to others. It was the thought of lifting others that helped me lift myself. I truly believe that giving is a great gift, and I choose to make the most of that gift every single day. Above all, the greatest gift I received during the battle of my life was that incredible moment.
אני אבא. מה? שתי ידיים, פחות שתי ידיים, מה אתה משנה? כל עוד אני רואה, חי, נושם, יש לי את האוצר הזה בידיים. בשביל זה נלחמתי, לא? עדיף, דומה לך, תדעת אותו.
Thank you. This is Shira, my little angel. Shira was born albino. It means that her body cannot produce an hormone called melanin. Her skin is pale, her hair is white, and the biggest problem with it, that it comes with a very hard eyesight problems. To be honest, my first thought was about the future. There will come a time that my daughter will come home after school crying because some kids were mean to her. It will happen. And like every parent who sees his child suffering, it will hurt. I thought, God, after everything we went through in the past 3 years, can we get something good without an extra challenge? But today, 2 years after, I can tell you with confidence that she is our biggest gift. I know that if there is any chance that someone up there chooses to send her to me, it's just because my life journey provides me with the ability to guide her how to turn the impossible to sustainable reality. Shira gave me the opportunity to be a role model again. And thanks to my injury, I am a better father to her. There is one sentence that Shira will hear from me every morning when she wakes up and every night before she goes to bed. Great people are dealing with great things. Great people don't let their small disabilities to define who they are. Thank you. Yes, it takes me about 45 minutes to close the bottoms of my pants. So I replaced it with Velcros. And yes, my wife does help me from time to time to tie my shoes. But you know what? These are small things. I wanted to prove to my daughter that when you are conquered the highest mountain, nobody will remember the small hills you struggle to pass. I believe each and every one of us fighting his own battle. The way we handle it, how we rise from it, is mostly up to us. You don't need a near-death experience to appreciate life. Make the most of your life by giving to others. And remember, great people are dealing with great things. One small last thing that I probably won't be able to do again is to clap my hands. So allow me to leave it to you again. Thank you very much.